Hello there, welcome to Can Sanity. Today we're going to be making twice baked potatoes, one of my family's absolute favorite potato to have when we're having a summertime barbecue. So let's get started. Okay, so you're first going to start with getting the right potato. You want to get a russet potato because russet potatoes have a thicker skin and they bake up nice and fluffy on the inside. And when I make baked potatoes, I always bake extra because they reheat fabulously. And when you make twice baked potatoes, you can even freeze those. And that makes it super convenient when you're having your summertime barbecues. Okay, I have my oven preheating to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can bake your potatoes anywhere from 350 up to 450. If you choose a lower temperature, you're going to have to bake them longer. If you choose a higher temperature, they will crisp up a little bit better for you, but you have to watch that watch that they don't burn. So I like to pick the sweet spot, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so I've already washed my potatoes and I've pricked them all over with a fork. So you want to take your fork and really prick all over. And that's because you don't want to throw that potato in without pricking it because it could actually just split open, and so you want to let the air get right into the potato. So always prick your potatoes before you bake them in the oven. Now I've already prepared a baking sheet, so I have a baking sheet that's lined with foil, and then I just have a rack sitting on top of it. You can bake them this way, or you can just actually put them right on the rack in your oven. But this is just the cleaner way to do it. If you prepare your baking sheet like this, then all you have to clean up is the sheet. If you happen to put them right on your rack in the oven, then you get a little bit of oil on the rack, so that could smoke later, or it's just a little bit more cleaning for you to do with your oven. So I've already pricked the potatoes, and now to get a nice crisp skin, you actually want to rub an oil over on the exterior of this potato. Choose just a regular olive oil, not extra virgin, regular olive oil, canola oil, or I like to use butter. And so you can use any of those to rub over on the potato. And then you're going to generously put some kosher salt or some sea salt as well on your potato, and some pepper. And then you're just going to put them right on the rack. I'm just using a pastry brush here, silicone pastry brush that you can put in the dishwasher to clean, just to get my butter, my melted butter all over my potato. Okay, so the reason why you use this rack is so that when it's baking, the air circulates around the potato and crisps all sides. So now I'm going to put the salt and the pepper on. And if you want to do low sodium, you can skip this step. But I really think that if you want to eat your skins, it's really a good idea to salt. And this is just a Himalayan sea salt, just ground coarse. You can use kosher salt or any sea salt will do. So I'm just going to flip these over. And you can just rub that in. For video's sake, I'm just going to flip them. And I have about a tablespoon of salt here. And you can just do the salt, or you can add some pepper. I'm going to add some pepper too. Just because I like that flavor. Okay, so then you can just take your potato and just kind of rub it around if you want. You can even just lift up the rack and try to get a little bit more of the salt that just kind of fell through the cracks. And also at the same time a little bit of scrub on your hands. You know that salt, that scrub that they use at At spas, it's just coarse sugar and coconut oil. So, you know, you want nice and smooth hands. Make twice baked potatoes. Okay, so now you're going to put that in the oven and you're going to bake it for, you can check it after 40 minutes, but it should take between 40 and 50 minutes. It depends on the size of the potatoes. These are just a medium-sized potato. Now, I also have over here some asparagus that I just picked from my garden, and I just don't want to, because my oven is preheated, I'm actually going to throw my asparagus right on this rack too, because that's what we're going to have with our dinner tonight. So I'm just going to, I have a little bit of butter left, so I'm just going to go ahead and rub that right on my asparagus. Okay, now I'm going to put that in the oven, and I'm going to roast that, like I said, for 40 to 50 minutes. I'll watch my asparagus. It might be done sooner, so I might want to take that out sooner. Okay, so my potatoes took 50 minutes, and they're just perfect. I've let them cool on the stove top for a bit so that I can handle them, and cut them in half, and now I'm just scooping out the flesh. And you know, you want to leave a little bit of a ridge on the inside. That just makes it just a firmer potato to fill. And here's another tip. You can use your KitchenAid to mash your potatoes. And so I'm just scooping out the flesh, and I'm going to put that in my KitchenAid bowl. Okay, so now you're going to use your KitchenAid, if you have it, to mash your potatoes. If you don't have that, then just mash it with your potato masher. So that's all the flesh that I've scooped out. I always start with my butter. There's 4 tablespoons of butter here. I melted it a bit just because I knew that the potatoes were going to be cooled a little bit more so than usual. It wouldn't be hot to melt butter. So just because I have a couple things going on today. So I just start with mixing that up, and just on low, otherwise the potatoes can come flying out of there. So mix that up first. And now I like to add a little bit of garlic powder to my potatoes. We love garlic in my house, so I add about a half teaspoon of garlic powder to start, and then I'll add more if once I taste it to see if I need to add more. Add a little bit of salt, so add about just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Remember, your skins have been salted and peppered too, so you don't really need to have a lot of seasoning to this, but you do want to season all the layers. So mix that up a little bit. And then you're just going to add some milk. And I have some homogenized milk because that's what I was baking with today. So I'm just going to add about 1/8 of a cup to start. Don't add a ton of milk right up front, because depending on how much moisture is in your potatoes, you might not need to add that much milk. So, and if you don't want to use dairy, you could use margarine, and you can use chicken broth. But I like milk with my potatoes. So that's it. That's how you mash potatoes with your KitchenAid. And so I don't want it really, I want it to be a little bit lumpy, and it's still quite a bit lumpy, so I'm just gonna do that a little bit more and add a little bit more milk. Bring it up. Now that it's good. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more milk, just because it seems like I can. So that's good. I'll take that up. And you want your mashed potatoes to go back into your pot. I like them lumpy, so you could go a little bit more if you wanted it. Now don't run it too long because it'll be gummy. The potatoes will be gummy. So, okay, so now you can adjust your seasonings. This is a little stiff. I could add a little bit more milk if I wanted to. I might just do that actually. And just a little bit more. And then you can add your more salt and pepper if you want. Keep in mind that when you serve this, people will probably add their salt and pepper. Now, you can leave it like this and fill your potato like that. I like to add a bit of cheese in the actual potato filling too. So this is just a mix of some orange cheddar and some white cheddar that I shredded using my KitchenAid food processor. There is a video showing that if you are interested in learning how to shred cheese really fast so that you have it handy for use in recipes like this. And I'm going to add a little bit more cheese. I happen to have bought lactose-free white cheddar, which tastes amazing. And that's what's in here. It was just an accident, I didn't read the label. But it tastes amazing, so I added that to this. Just a little speckle of cheese in there. You can also add bacon bits right in this, or you can add chives right in the potato filling. Because I'm going to freeze it, I just want to keep this more dry, so I'm going to leave it like this. And now you're going to take your potatoes, skins, and fill them. And then you're going to top with some cheese at the end, and chives. So I just like to make sure that I have enough potato to go around. So I just... Okay, so now I like to just kind of smooth it in, push it in a little bit. You don't really have to push it right in flat, but you can. And now you can freeze them like this without the topping, without the topped cheese. And because these are cool right now, that's how I'm going to freeze these ones. But you could also put your topping on, like you can put your cheese and your chives right on it and freeze it like that. Okay, so I put the tin foil down because once you top this cheese on top of your potatoes, a little bit of the cheese spills over and it would just make my pan very messy to clean. So I just thought, well, I'm just going to make this easy on myself and just put these like this. So you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then when you have all your cheese on, pop that in the oven for about 20 minutes. That should warm it through. If you are taking them out of your freezer and reheating them from frozen, then you want to either thaw them first. You can put them in the microwave and use your thaw option to thaw them, and then reheat them with the 350 degree oven after that. Or you can do it from frozen, but it'll just take longer. So these are ready to go, so I'll just pop them in the oven. Okay, so my potatoes are done, and it only took 15 minutes for that cheese to start bubbling and for the potatoes to be heated through. And so once I took that out of the oven, I topped a majority of these potatoes with some fresh chopped chives. I left some without the chives, and then of course I have some that doesn't even have the cheese. And you can freeze them once cooled anyway. And it's just going to be so great when the next barbecue I have, that I can just pull these out of the freezer and use them as a side dish. Now I can't remember whether I mentioned it, but the asparagus that I was cooking alongside the potatoes, I took out of the oven after 15 minutes. And I can't wait to enjoy these twice baked potatoes with asparagus and some chicken for dinner tonight. And I was going to say that if you don't have chives, you can use green onions, scallions. That works perfect as well. But if you have room in your garden, grow some chives. They're really easy to grow, and they're really rewarding because they come out first in the spring, and it's just so nice to be able to go out and pick something as early as April in your garden. And around mid-May to end of May, they do develop flowers, and the flowers are edible as well. And they're nice purple color, and they just add a beautiful presentation to any dish that you want to add some onion flavor. They're great in eggs. They would look excellent on these potatoes, or beautiful on a salad. So if you have room in your garden, grow some chives. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I hope that you do get a chance as well to go to cansanity.com to check out all the other recipes that are waiting there for you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a great day.